What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today is story time, and this is part of the reason why I've been absent for several days. It's actually something that I already wrote up years ago, but I had to tweak it a little bit just so it'd make it sound a little better. So, without further ado, this little short story is called Michael versus Pinhead. In other words, my own little version of Halloween. Now, it's not my own version. I've seen plenty of pictures scattered around the internet, like fan-made posters, which obviously I use for the thumbnail for this, but it's my own little version, written by yours truly. Like I said, I did tweak up some things in it. I tried to stay true as I could to the movies, to Hellraiser and Halloween. I said, without further ado, here we go. The year was 1963, All Hallows Night. Michael Myers, age 6, was getting back home from trick-or-treating with his big sister, Judith. "Okay, Michael, go and play in your room while I change," Judith said while walking towards the bedroom. "Okay," Michael replied. The night went on. All seemed quiet. Then came a mysterious whisper from the darkness as Michael was watching TV. He couldn't quite make out what the mysterious voice was saying. A scared Michael ran downstairs, yelling for his sister. There's a monster in my room. There's a monster in my closet." They went back up to his room and checked around. "You see, there's nothing there," Judith said, trying to calm Michael down. Later on, while Michael was asleep, the voice came again, only this time it whispered, "Kill." Michael rose from his sleep. Something was terribly wrong. With a cold, dead look in his eyes, Michael started down the steps and went into the kitchen and grabbed the biggest butcher knife that he could find. Sorry. He slowly crept into Judith's room. She woke up startled. "What are you doing in my room, Michael?" she asked. Suddenly, there was a loud scream, loud enough that the neighbors heard it. The police arrived to what could be considered one of the most brutal and heinous crimes in history. When the police got there to the house, Michael was sitting out on the porch, staring into space, his eyes as black as night. 16 years later, in New York City, in a dark alleyway, a man holding a shiny gold box with strange markings on it was running from someone or something. Soon, he came to a dead stop as a chain came out of the darkness and pinned him to the wall. "I did everything you asked of me," he shouted in pain. "Oh, I know you did, Frank, and I couldn't be more pleased." He then took the box from Frank's hand. "You helped build a doorway to my world," he said, leaning out of the dark just enough for you to see the dark figure's face, smiling. "But I have no more use for you. In the end, there's only flesh." Rip! As he ripped him apart. A skinless Frank fell to the ground, and the dark figure disappeared, whispering, "I must find my creation," into the night. The next day, the wind was getting quite strong as the leaves started falling from the dead tree branches at the Calvino Institute for the Criminally Insane. Dr. Calvin Ruggiero makes his way to the Michael Myers cell. "Open up cell 13, he said to the guards. "Come on, Michael, it's time to get relocated." As they were making their way down the hall, Michael broke free, killed the guards, and wounded Dr. Calvin. As soon as Michael ran out the door, or more so walked, because he don't run, Dr. Calvin was just left there bleeding. The room started getting pitch black. The walls started to shine through with light. Just then, a low whisper that sent chills down the doctor's spine asked, "Where is Michael?" "I don't know. Who are you?" he asked in a shivering tone. Suddenly, a black-suited man with pins in his head came forward. "I'm an explorer in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others." Chains came from the shadows tearing into the doctor's flesh, ripping him apart. Meanwhile, as Michael was walking down a dark back alley, he stopped only to notice a skinless man. Michael walked over to the body, puzzled. "Michael," it whispered. He then looked up, turned around, and there was a Pinhead staring Michael in the face. "Beautiful, is it not?" Michael looked back down at the skinless, disfigured Frank. "I created him with my own 2 hands, just as I did with you. You heard me that night. I was the one who controlled you that night. After that, I lost my touch. Frank here was into all sorts of magic and voodoo." Michael's eyes widened. Pinhead then, with his left hand, lifted the box in midair. "This is a pathway to my domain. Frank helped me build it after I told him all about you. My creation. I chose you because you are worthy of my cause." Michael then grabbed the box, stabbed Pinhead with the butcher knife in his back, and ran to a nearby hammer laying on the floor. Just then, a chain ripped through Michael's hand and pulled him face to face with Pinhead. As Pinhead said to him, "You think you can defy me? I will tear your soul apart." Michael then looked at Pinhead and said to him, "My soul's already torn apart." He then grabbed the box from Pinhead, took the before-mentioned hammer, and smashed the box to bits. Michael then walks up to Pinhead. "What have you done?" Pinhead growled. A chain ripped through Michael's shoulder. Then another. Michael took his sharp knife and cut the chains in half. He then walked really fast up to Pinhead and stabbed him in the neck. "The suffering," he said in a painful smile. Just then, the box resurfaced back together by itself. A bunch of chains came out of it and grabbed Pinhead. A fire pit opened. Just then, the chains yanked him into the inferno along with the box. Michael then took off his mask. His eyes still as black as night. He now knows the truth of his lurid past. He takes the knife and kills himself. "No one else should die by my hands," he said before dying. The end. Now, as I said, that's like a rough draft, and if I was to bring this up to a studio, they'd probably laugh in my face because I do admit, first of all, Michael don't talk. Yes, I get that. But I had to add my own something to it. Even though they did Freddy vs. Jason, I had to make this one different. I had to add my own touch. And as I said in my other videos, when writers and directors make their own versions of something, they add their own mixture. And that's basically what I did to this story. So I hope you enjoyed this. As crazy and cuckoo as it may have sounded in some parts, I tried to keep it as close to the lore to each of its own movies in respect as I could, even though I did kind of make it sound silly, especially with Michael talking, because we all know that wouldn't go over well anyway. But this is just for fun. It's just for fun. I will be doing some more stories similar to this, not about horror icon characters. I'm going to try to make up some more stories to tell and just my own brand of originality, if that's even possible in today's world. But I will try to accomplish that in the days to come. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Like, subscribe, and get reputized by clicking the bell icon for more posts. Click all so you don't miss any of my posts. Stay tuned for more videos or reviews coming soon to a computer screen or cell phone near you. Peace the rip out.